Here we go. Here's my mic. Couldn't find my mic, Dave.
We are locked in, Cuzzo. How you doing, buddy?
I think we're always locked in. You don't even have to announce that anymore.
That is true. That is true.
Levels are good?
Oh, sounding great. I sound like Fergie and Jesus.
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything?
I do not. I have a feeling you didn't hear anything either.
Hey, Debbie, how are you?
What's going on? Our number one supporter, Debbie. We appreciate you watching.
Yep. We're going to have Steve and Mowry join the show. We are excited.
There we go. Bellator Heavyweight. He does know how to press the join, right?
Yeah.
You thought about it. I feel like you've been lying to me already this whole episode. You did hear the levels, and now you're like, yeah, he's joining.
What are levels?
Anyway, guys, some quick big news before he even joins.
Yep.
Wow. Thank you. A locked-in alum, Amanda Nunes, will be fighting Chris Cyborg. And a year ago, I said, hey, this is the super fight to make. And now it came to fruition, Dave.
It's nuts. It's awesome.
Who do you have? You don't have to
Already?
give your prediction yet, but is this the biggest women's fight of all time?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yes, 100%. I think whoever wins this fight, I'm a diehard Ronda Rousey fan. I'm a pro Ronda. Whoever wins this fight is the greatest female combat sports fighter ever.
I can't deny it.
And
it's between those two. So whoever wins, okay, it's like Cyborg beat Holly Holm, who destroyed Ronda Rousey. Cyborg destroys everybody. And if she were to destroy Amanda Nunes, what could you say?
Yeah.
What's the argument?
She has never lost in the UFC. Amanda's never, I think she had an early loss, but she's been on fire since. She walked through Rousey. She's walking through her whole division. And just her and Cyborg is the fight to make.
Yeah. I don't think you can deny that. As far as Amanda, though, she's destroyed Ronda Rousey. And now, damn, fingers all on the camera, Dave. She destroyed Ronda Rousey. So if she were to defeat Chris Cyborg, it's the same case for her as well. You know what I mean? It's like she destroyed everybody in her division, and she improves every fight. Her conditioning's great. Her striking's great. Her jiu-jitsu's solid. Pete, the legend himself, watching.
Pete White, how you doing, brother?
Amanda or Cyborg? It's not the debate of the day. That's probably tomorrow. Hint, hint. But I would love your feedback. Amanda's pretty good, guys.
She is. There's no...
I'm rooting for Amanda.
She's top 3 female of all time.
We're allowed to have favorites.
Cyborg, Amanda, and probably Joanna?
Yeah. No, yeah, those are...
Rousey's up there.
I'll give Amanda...
Doug Rose.
I'm not going to give my prediction yet.
Taylor White.
There we go.
Hannah Goldie.
I'll take Taylor White.
She's great.
Don't give me your prediction, but do you see a good competitive fight?
Oh, yeah, I do.
So it's not a blowout either way. Whoever wins, you see a competitive fight.
Absolutely. They're both dynamic. What scares me, it could go...
Cyborg is a beast. Yeah. You're my guy, Pete. What's good? Wow, Steven, we need you to join, buddy.
They're both just so uber aggressive. It could end quickly. You know what I mean? It's like they could throw just crazy hands, meet in the middle, and whoever falls first. And Cyborg, to me, has more power. I think Amanda's more technical striker and probably a better striker, but Cyborg just has crazy great power.
Yeah, no, and she's aggressive as can be. Like someone with power and is that aggressive is the recipe to success. Obviously, we see what Cyborg does to fighters. So it's an interesting fight. Okay, I'm ready when you are. What do you need me to do? Steven, I'm already helping you. Look at that.
I think you just do ask to join.
Yeah, and then we'll press that button and we join and have a great conversation. Uh-oh, here we go. What'd you do, Dave?
I'm just pushing buttons. You know, what I do best.
Okay, yep, just press to join the live, Steven, and then we will get you on. All the pressure's on you.
And we're so excited for this fight. Bellator, guys, it's Bellator September 29th, 2:05. It's in Boise, Iowa. I'm pumped. Bellator's been on fire lately.
They've found an identity. You know what I mean? They're not trying to be the UFC, but what they're doing with these Grand Prix.
I love the Grand Prix.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, and they're unique in their own way.
Yeah. And to me, they were a gimmicky, old-school kind of fight game, with all the shamrocks and slices and all that stuff. Now, with guys like Stephen Mowry, MVP, Bader, you got legitimate young Ben Henderson, you got Roy McDonald, we got our guy John Fitch, who beats everyone in the world except for GSP.
That's actually very true.
It's true.
I do have a correction, though. We did our top 5 heavyweights of all time last episode.
We did.
Kane did lose more than one fight in the UFC.
Who was it?
Verdum.
Wow, you're right.
When I went to bed, I couldn't go to sleep that night. I'm like, damn, I made it. He didn't lose. He lost to Verdum. So, and Verdum, I believe, beat Fedor. I don't know if it was in Bellator or not, but that was a phenomenal fight as well. All right. We're getting there, Dave?
We are. He's trying to find the button. It's
Facebook. This is why I'm an Instagram guy, but I can't find the button.
Hey, what's up, Shawnee?
All right. Find the button. Let's help him find the button. I think it's on the bottom left, and you'll see like an icon where it's a guy next to a guy. A stick figure next to a stick figure.
The stick figures.
Yeah, and you hit that, and I think that will just make all of our dreams come true.
Yeah. And talking about the top 5 heavyweights, people have came up to me and said, really, they liked that I had Stipe number 1. I think they were pro me on Stipe number 1 over your Cain Velasquez.
So are you trying to say you won the episode, Dave? Is that what this is coming down to?
I thought I won that one debate, but I can win the whole episode as well.
Dude, like, if you say Stipe is number 1, I'm not going to argue with you. You know, like,
okay.
Stipe is a legitimate contestant for the number 1 spot. He has the most title defenses of all time.
Here we go, Steven.
But talk about somebody who may give Stipe a run for his money. Here we go, Stephen Mowry. And he found it, ladies and gentlemen. He found it. Here we go. Here we go. He's connecting. He's getting locked in. I'm getting the jitters.
And then I loved how we both had Randy Couture 4. I thought that was so funny. And then, we both had DC 3.
Here we go, Steven. What's up?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
How you doing, dudes?
Dude, I know you're 6'8", so we don't get a lot of those. You got to make sure you fit in the camera here.
I'm trying my best. Facebook wanted me to jump through all kind of hoops.
I know. I'm an Instagram guy.
Yeah, Instagram. Instagram's way up here. Facebook's
You get closer, Dave.
not even this level. And that's only something.
Thank you. Steven, dude, we appreciate you giving us your time. Stephen Mowry joining us here. We had you on not too long ago, and your fight has been announced on Bellator. How do you feel about that? I feel like we're your good luck charm in a way now.
I mean, you must be. I mean, yeah, we did I think I made my official announcement that I signed right before I talked to you guys. So, yeah, you must be.
We had a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
feels good. It's been in the works for a little while. I really wanted on the August, the 17th card.
Yeah.
Because, 6 of my teammates were on it, and it didn't work out. So, finally excited to get a crack on this new one here.
For sure.
Well, it's like, if you go out to dinner, a big family style, you get a little bit of attention. But when, your parents take just you out on September 29th, you get all the attention, all the love, right?
Well, we have Adam Borks on the card, too. But I think I'm right after him.
Okay, so let's just... Steven, I owe you an apology because on our episodes a while back, we did Lock Your Stock, and it's like we picked 3 young athletes who you can invest your stock in now. Like I did Ben Simmons for basketball. I did Michael Davis on MMA, Sam Darnold, the quarterback for the New York Jets. I should have added you on there because I think you are an up-and-coming heavyweight who could take over the whole game. Like you have the whole package, and you have the right mindset. So this is me sincerely apologizing to Stephen Mowry on Locked In Facebook.
Well, I'm going to have to drive up to Daytona and put some boots somewhere. I appreciate it. For real. Thank you.
We definitely need someone to teach him a lesson sooner or later, so we definitely accept that. We talked about it right before you got on, and I don't know if you were listening. We had on the last podcast with Hannah Goldie. We had our top 5 best heavyweights ever. Stipe, DC were up there, Cain Velasquez. And then the bottom of our list, Randy Couture, Nogueira. That's on my list.
Fedor.
Do you like that list?
I didn't hear Fedor one time. What the?
Okay, are you a Fedor guy?
Yeah, say Fedor. I don't know what's going on with you two, but
Fedor. Do you like Fedor?
You're lucky Fedor doesn't fly over and teach you dudes a lesson.
I don't want to fight Fedor. There's something about him that just intimidates the crap out of me, so I put him on my list straight out of fear.
No, there you go.
Is he really high on your list? Is he the greatest heavyweight ever to you? Is he in that top-notch, top 2, top 3?
I'm real picky about the word ever, especially when it comes to, especially when you put the word greatest in front of it.
Yeah.
But hard to to not make a case for Fedor at least being top 3 of the top 5, And then I don't know. It's one of those things. I like boxing a lot, and I really don't think the Klitschko brothers get the credit they deserve. Mm-hmm. It's maybe not necessarily because people try to discredit their skills and their style, but for one, they beat everybody they put in front of them. And then what are you going to do? Like, they lost to Vladimir's, first real bad loss was, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, 2 young, up-and-coming dudes, both with attributes, both who can fight. But the argument is, well, they don't beat anybody. And then the counter-argument would be okay, who didn't they beat? So it's the same with Fedor. I think people argue that Fedor didn't really fight any top-level dudes, but, in 2007, if you would have asked who the guys to beat were at the time, it would have been your Heath Herrings, your Nogueira brothers, your
Tim Sylvia.
Tim Sylvia. There was a time when Tim Sylvia was the scariest dude on the planet.
He's not on my list. Arlovsky was a bad man.
No. I would not put those guys top 5.
I'm about to say, you can never convince me Tim Sylvia's on there.
Okay, good. Well, point being, he beat the who's who at heavyweight back then. It's just that, and that's why I'm real careful about how I use the words greatest ever, is because, the Francis Ngannous of now, 5 years from now, might be a name that we all, laugh at. And then the names of, we got your super new guys, your, I don't want to say anybody in particular, your
Curtis Blades.
Young up-and-cut, Curtis Blades, Tai Tuivasa. 10 years from now, you might be like, man, screw Fedor. We got Tai Tuivasa, we got Curtis Blades, we got, I know there's other.
I know a really good heavyweight. His name is Stephen Mowry.
He's all right.
Pete White just said Boss Rutan. He's a legend. Talk about all time. That's a real legend who paved the way.
Oh, there you go. And see, that's something that I would argue, okay, but who did he fight and beat? But it's hard to make the case against Boss Rutan, like you just said. So
you definitely have a shot to get in that list. Like I just said, I would invest my stock in you. What would you say that you do that's different from all of them? Obviously, you see that you have your length and your height, but you're very technically sound. That could be something that elevates you up the ranks rather quickly, right?
I appreciate that. I don't know. I have really good coaches, really good training partners. I was always blessed to be in the right place at the right time, meet the right people, be in the right situation. So
there you go.
I don't know. Life's just been good. I've had a really good journey so far. I know my girlfriend's watching, and she would be like, "Why didn't you mention me?" So
go ahead and mention her.
Hi, Haley.
There you go. We do have an interesting theory.
But I'm sure she's saying something right now. Hold on.
The ...
Yep.
We do have an interesting theory. We've ran it by multiple fighters. Pretty much everybody loves it. So no pressure. You got to love it. We think in boxing, especially in MMA, this recent fight with Demetrius Johnson and Henry Cejudo, we think the judges should submit their score after every round. So the fighters know who won that round, the fans, the coaches.
Scoreboard.
Yeah.
Every sport has one.
NBA, NFL, soccer, tennis, there's always a scoreboard. So now if it's 2-2 going to the 5th round, Demetrius knows, hey, I have to win this round. Maybe he thought he was up 3-1. Do you like that idea?
There's a lot of moving parts to that. So submitting the scores after each round is its own set of
challenges.
So so in kickboxing they do that. They have Glory has 5 ringside judges, and they each submit a score after the round ends, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to think the fighters. I don't think see them. But even still, for us as viewers, it's kind of like, oh, man, we know who's up, we know who's down. And then, we can kind of get a sense for, especially in a five-round, 3-minute each fight, it's kind of like, oh, boy. Like these judges have no idea what they're doing kind of thing. But, I don't know, man. That really would change the landscape of it, wouldn't it? Being able to look up and be like...
You won that round.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
a 3-round fight, if you're down 2-0, that would put you in that knockout mode for round 3 instead of maybe a 1-1. Right. You know what I mean?
Well, so I want to change the gear on this discussion a little bit. I've been watching a lot of freestyle wrestling, right? Like international wrestling. And something that I think is really interesting. I'm far from a high-level wrestler, especially at the level that those dudes do it. But one thing that they can do is obviously they can see the score. It's cumulative, and I don't know if you know anything about wrestling. Maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, they really changed the scoring dynamic.
Sure.
It used to be 3 periods, and then the best of the winner of those 3 periods won the match. Now it's a cumulative score. So if you win, like for example, if one guy won the first period by 5 points, but then the next guy won by 1 point the next 2 periods, the guy who won by 1 point the next 2 periods won. But now it's 2 3-minute periods. So if you win 1 period, you go 5-0. The next round, the guy goes 2-2. The guy who scored 5 points still wins. Or still wins, rather.
Like the total.
It's the cumulative score, whatever. So one thing that they can do is the coaches have a cube. They can challenge calls, right? So being that it's a live score and it's ongoing, if a call happens, they can throw the cube in, they can challenge. If they win the challenge, the score gets put back. But if they lose, they give the other guy a point. And then they don't get their challenge again.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. But I don't know if that really works for MMA, being that it's the scoring's a lot more objective. So it really turns into like, I don't really understand how it would make that big of a difference, though. And you have to see, like, it's because one judge might score because, like, oh, that dude landed more. But then another judge would be like, no, that dude landed the more meaningful shots. And
sure.
And then as we saw with the Demetrius Cejudo fight, I think the defining factor really was that some guys thought, okay, well, Cejudo got the takedowns, but then I would have been a little bit more on the side of like, okay, he got the takedown, but like
didn't do anything.
Johnson was the one who did actual fighting.
Yes,
Cejudo. I'm all about wrestling in fights. I think if you dominantly outgrapple your opponent, that's winning the fight. But like,
agree.
It wasn't. So somebody who really makes a case for wrestlers in that situation, I have a hard time commiserating with the Cejudo people, especially
he didn't advance his position. Yeah, he didn't advance his position. Yeah. He didn't look for submission. He didn't land any significant strikes on the ground. He just held him.
And the second that Cejudo gave any kind of space to score, Johnson was up.
Exactly.
Which and it's. I don't really. This is another, like, we could go on a tangent about this. I don't really think defensive wrestling doesn't score points. It doesn't. I don't think it should influence who won or lost a round. Just because you stop the takedown doesn't mean you're scoring points, right?
Agree.
Yeah,
but that said, if they had forced Cejudo to do some more offensive grappling, maybe we see a little bit of like maybe Johnson could have got back on his stuff different.
It's interesting.
It's a great point.
Yeah, and you bring up a really good point about how the fight is judged. And we don't have a theory on how they should score the fight. We just think the judges should submit their score because we have this 10-8 type of system, this like 10-7, 10-9 system. That's like, boxing days. And I just feel like we can update that system as well. We just don't have a better solution for it at the moment. But we definitely think adding that element of the fighters seeing it. And an interesting point we've also heard is there's some coaches out there who just say you won the round when you really didn't. I mean, of course, there's a lot of coaches that are honest, but they do say there's some that aren't, just like kind of yes men. And I think that could benefit all parties.
Absolutely. Like my biggest thing is this: in a big championship fight, a 5-rounder, if it's tied 2-2 and everybody knows it, and there's no maybe this, maybe that, if it's a 2-2 and it's Johnny Hendricks versus GSP and the winner of this round wins the fight and the title, to me it's just like it builds the stress, the atmosphere will be crazy, and you're making a moment in a way, and each fighter knows Johnny Hendricks 100% thought he won that fight. And I really do believe GSP's coaches thought that they won the fight. Now there's no in the middle. It's 2-2 or 3-1. And if Johnny's down, he knows he needs the knockout in the 5th instead of just trying to win the round or stay away from GSP in a way.
Of course. But you have to think, too, once the scores have been submitted, it doesn't really do anybody any good, especially in that the criteria doesn't change. So, like, I don't know. Like, the more I think about it, the more it is a good idea. But then, like, I would think that all the problems that it seeks out to solve, it kind of like
creates new ones.
Creates new ones. Yeah. So like you have a guy. So yeah, you say like you're in the middle of a fight and you're like, oh man, I'm definitely up 3-1. But then you look up at the clock and you're like, whoa, wait, what? Like why am I up? Why is it 2-2 or 1-3? You know what I mean? I don't know. To answer your question, that would really change the game, huh?
That's what we're trying to do.
We're changing the game.
That's what we're trying to do.
We turned a yes or no answer into a 10-minute discussion.
We love it, and we're going to present this idea someday to Dana White, and all we want is just our pictures on the big scoreboard. Like, that's it. We just want to hold it up like this. That's it. Nothing big.
You're coming in there with an agenda.
But
your Trojan horse agenda just to get your picture on it.
Very cool, man. Hey, Ben Moa, September 29th, CenturyLink Arena in Boise, Iowa. You looking forward to fighting out there? Is that something that interests you, traveling, or is that just, hey, it's the fight game wherever the cage is? I'm throwing hands.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever gone more than one state away for a fight, and it just so happens that it's a lot of states away. It's the other side of the country. So, I mean, I guess not if you don't include like moving to Florida, but no, it's interesting. South Dakota, sorry to say, especially the people that live in South Dakota, is not known for its recreation life. You know what I'm saying? So I've never actually been there, so maybe I'm sure it's South Dakota. I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure
their bowling alleys there are amazing. Just the best bowling alleys in the
Okay.
Make sure you go bowling.
And I like the Big Lebowski. So, but anyway, it's my jiu-jitsu coach, the Mr. Miyagi to my Daniel sign, texted me the other day. He was like, "Yeah, I saw you're fighting in Idaho. That's awesome." And I was like, and he was like, "The town's awesome." And then I have a buddy. He actually he's one of my kickboxing students. He played pro baseball for a little while. He was telling me, like, yeah, it's a college town, so like there's always stuff to do. Like the food there is dope. Ryan LaFleur's a friend of mine. He called me and was like, "Yeah, it's awesome. Everybody's telling me there's good hiking and trails and hot springs like just north." And I'm like, man, like I booked whenever they asked me about my flight information, I was like, get me out of Boise the second that you can. I probably like if they would have been like, "Hey, we can get you on a flight at midnight that night," I would have been like, "Good, let's do it." But now I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass a little bit.
Wow. Hey, we're Florida guys too, so we definitely know how. Hey, Florida's the best state. Beach, it's everything, right?
It's 98 degrees while it rains. We can't get that anywhere else.
Pennsylvania, right up there too, but let's not get into semantics.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. Where can people find you? Obviously, if they're tuning in on Facebook, they have you, but like an Instagram, Twitter, any sponsors, plugs, where you're fighting out of, the floor is yours.
Always shout out to my training partners. My sponsors, I'd like to give a special shout out to the people who've been with me all along the way. We have Big Boys Moving up in Tampa. They've been a big help. I'm actually wearing their shirt right now, Thrasher Hemp Shoes. Bellator's real picky about what they let on a TV screen, and I promised them, I was like, well, look, they're not going to let me put your logo on live TV. I'm going to make sure I wear it during this live interview. But, no, to Thrasher Hemp Shoes and Thrasher Staffs, we have Novagenics. They're a Florida-based company. I already gave Haley a shout-out, so I better not be getting a text later.
Where do you get those T-shirts? Where can you get them? Where can you purchase them?
Oh, so the T-shirts, I'm sure you could just find anywhere. Dale gave me a T-shirt. The company is a CBD-based company, and it's designed to it's just like the CBD movement that's starting. What you do is you feed these hemp chews to your dogs, and it's it's supposed to give your pets all the same benefits that it gives your humans. So I don't really smoke weed, and I wouldn't say I'm for or against it. I'm probably more for than against it, to be honest with you. But I don't smoke, but I do use CBD just because of all the natural benefits. It's good for inflammation. It helps me sleep better. And the big one is it's supposed to reverse the effects of the monster in the closet of every pro fighter, CTE. So if I have to drop weed liquid in my mouth to reverse the effects of CTE and be able to remember my middle name later on in life, then man,
you better do
sign
it.
me up.
God bless America.
I'll do it. I'll do it twice a day, and I'll do it in your mom's mouth too.
Oh my God. Hey, I'm thinking about. We want to give you a locked-in shirt. You wear like a size medium, right?
I don't know. I'm slimming down. I think I'm a small nowadays.
Really? Okay. Would not have guessed that one, but no, we would love to see you in a locked-in shirt. We appreciate your time.
Actually, you want to hear a funny story?
What was that?
You know, you want to hear a funny story?
We'd love
Always.
to.
I met Antonio Brown probably 4 years ago. So we had the same. We had an agility coach, a strength coach, and one day he just so happened to be at the gym. This is back in Pittsburgh. So he's wandering around the gym, and I'm like, and I am not by any means, but I knew who AB was, and I was like, so Laniel was like, yeah, that's him. But like I guess I don't know if Laniel had already told him that I was there, and so he walked up to me and was like, hey, you're Steve, right? And I was like, so he was I think was just genuinely wondering. But I was, this is 5 years ago, so I wasn't as big as I am now, but I was still a heavyweight. I was still, whatever, 6'8". And he walked up to me, and he was like, yeah, we'll wait till you fight out. And I was like, oh, I'm a lightweight, but I just, cut it all the way down there. But me not thinking, like, he didn't have any idea what I was talking about. He's like, oh, yeah, word, cutting weight. That probably sucks. So I didn't have the heart to tell him, like, no, I'm just busting your chops. So I was just like, yeah, that's probably an 80-pound cut. I just felt like such a goofball.
So Antonio Brown, the greatest wide receiver of our generation, thinks you're a lightweight fighter.
League.
Oh, easy. Easy. So Steelers going to win the AFC this year?
We can get our freaking act together. That's another Pittsburghism.
I like you guys this year.
I like us every year. We should be winning. We should have the AFC Championship every year. And then, we have not only do we have the talent, but we have the ability. We have the perfect mix of people on the team, but we just can't.
They need a Stephen Mowry on the field. You could be the first ever MMA fighter NFL.
Maybe I missed my calling.
Defensive end, Stephen Mowry. Pittsburgh Steeler, great.
They tried telling me, they're like, you'd be a good center. And I was like, oh, okay. I wrestled with a kid in high school, and his mom was like, yeah, you would have been a great tight end. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Love it. Hey, Stephen, thank you so much for coming on. Second time, September 29th, Bellator MMA. It's on Paramount. We can't wait to watch you. Get the W. Get home safe. Get back to Florida, the greatest state. We can't wait to see you. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
I think it's September 21st, but I'm riding the vibe you're on. Right.
Thank you. That's all we want.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Later, buddy.
Thank you. See ya.